Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, this week is commemorated as World Diabetes Week in UK from June 10 to 16. Diabetes Week is observed during the third week of June every year. This year, it takes place from June 10 to 16. The week-long event was created to create awareness about the disease and to encourage individuals to be open and talk about their experience with it. The point of raising this kind of awareness is to reduce risk by encouraging lifestyle changes. The week was first founded in 1934 by H.G. Wells and R.D. Lawrence, both of whom were diabetic as well. So considering the magnitude of risk diabetes poses to the population of United Kingdom, it is imperative to raise awareness about ailment among general population. The first known documentation of diabetes symptoms can be dated back to 1552 BC Egypt, where the physician Hesira deemed frequent urination a symptom of disease that also caused both emaciation and the production of urine that attracted ants. In 150 AD, the Greek physician Aratus described the disease to be melting down of flesh and limbs into urine. The presence of sweetness in the urine led to disease being named as diabetes mellitus in 1675. It was only in the 18th and 19th centuries that physicians began to realize that dietary changes could aid the regulation of diabetes. In 1960, Elliot Jocelyn published the treatment of diabetes mellitus, which posited a fasting diet and regular exercise for the regulation of blood sugar levels. In 1920, Frederick Banting, a Canadian physician, first thought to use insulin to treat diabetes. Today, insulin is used to treat type 1 diabetes. Other medical advancements have allowed patients to check their blood sugar levels at home and precisely regulate them using insulin, medication, exercise, and diet. Diabetes currently affects 4.9 million people in UK, out of which 8,50,000 people don't even know that they suffer from illness. Research suggests that lifestyle changes can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes by 50%. Diabetic Week was founded in 1934 to raise awareness about the issue. So, although not everyone with type 2 diabetes is overweight, obesity, and inactive lifestyle are two of the most common causes of type 2 diabetes. The three main signs of diabetes include the polydipsia, polyuria, and polyphagia. These three terms correspond to increases in thirst, urination, and appetite, respectively. The three P's often, but not always, occur together. Type 1 diabetes symptoms can develop quickly within a few weeks or months. So take a diabetic risk test. It will help you understand any changes you may need to make in your lifestyle. If you can shell out a few bucks to donate to organizations that dedicate themselves to improving the lives of people living with diabetes, your donation can help push forward research work, outreach efforts, and information campaigns. It is not enough to just know where you stand. Encourage the people around you to assess their risk levels as well as help them avail the resources they might need to understand the topic further. The ninth leading cause of death is diabetes in 2019 across the world. Diabetes is major cause of not just blindness, but also kidney failure, heart attacks, and strokes. Type 2 diabetes accounts for about 90 to 95% of diabetes cases. Type 1 diabetes tend to develop early in life. Lifestyle changes like a healthy diet and exercise can drastically reduce the chances of developing type 2 diabetes, which is preventable. Because the disease is quite common, people often fail to take diabetes seriously. One of the central aims of Diabetes Week is to aid preventive action. If people are aware of the risk level, it becomes easier to take steps to reduce it as much as possible. The awareness of one's risk allows the day to act as a wake-up call. This day does well in letting people flippantly dismiss diabetes. This week is also commemorated as Meet a Mate Week. This is all about dating apps and dating. And this week is also commemorated as National Email Week from June 10th to 16th in the United States. We know we are not exaggerating when we say that emails have changed the world. They have touched the lives of nearly every person on this planet, and all for the better. Emails are now the preferred way of communicating, and they can also be the easiest, most low cost, and most effective way of communicating. We are not quite sure what our lives would look like without emails, and frankly, we don't want to live in a world without them. Emails came into picture soon after the internet was invented, or maybe even slightly before that. The first example of what can be called an email can be found on the computers of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in a program called Mailbox. Back in 1965, people using MIT computers could leave messages with a program on computers at the university for others who would see the messages once they are logged on the computer. Then came the US Department of Defense, which implemented the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, ARPANET, in 1969, which was a network connecting many computers across department for communication within the organization. But it was in 1971 that Ray Tomlinson invented the developed the electronic mail we know and love today by creating ARPANET's network email system. He was the genius behind coming up with the symbol @ symbol, which may now be his most enduring contributions to the internet. Typing in the destination for an email became as simple as addressing it username at the name of the computer, which is pretty much how emails have been addressed ever since. By the 1980s, internet service providers had begun connecting people across the world, and email hosting sites began popping up to get in onto action. By 1993, the bulky term electronic email was replaced by email, and internet has become more common. Over the next few years, America Online, AOL, Echo Mail, Hotmail, and Yahoo shaped the internet and email landscape by reaching a wide audience. In the late 1990s, internet use exploded with nearly 400 million users by 1999. Today, we have come a long way from emails being considered a novelty to now become a necessity. Some of the top free email providers are Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL, Zoho, Mail.com, Proton Mail, Countermail, Hushmail. Tutanota may be more secure than others. Some webmail clients which provide paid services are Zoho, Gmail, Hushmail, and Proton Mail. So this depends how to make your email secure. This depends on which email service you are using. If you are using a common services like Outlook, like click file and then properties in the message that you are composing, click security settings and select the encrypt message, contents and attachments, checkbox and write your message and then hit send. So how you can tell if your email has been hacked? The most obvious sign of your email account being hacked, in fact, is the fact that you can't sign into it. Hackers often change the password after getting access to it. So if your email password is rejected as incorrect and it wasn't you who changed it, there's a strong chance that it has been hacked. So send an email on this occasion, organize your email box, set up your email accounts for others. You got email. Emails has become popular thanks to the 1998 Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie. You got email. You got mail. People on average spend 54 hours per day checking their, 5.4 hours per day checking their emails. People who reduce the number of times they check their emails are significantly less stressed, according to research. Bill Clinton didn't send too many. Clinton claims to have only sent 2 emails as president. Mail marketers have found that using emojis in their subject lines increases open rates. So emojis for win. You got something to say? Send out a mass email to as many people as you want. At the speed of lightning, your message can reach around the world in a matter of seconds. And it is truly magic. Emails are great because you can send them while you are cooking up or walking with your dog in the park, or you are on holiday and no one will ever know it. and you are being just effective. Sending an email as an individual is practically free if you have already got access to internet. Compare this to the good old days where important documentation would have to be printed out and sent across the world, all with hoping the post office doesn't lose it. This week is also commemorated as National Little League Week in US, celebrated annually, the second week of June. The program began with the intention of bringing communities together and aiding the development of young people into well-rounded citizens of society. The Little League's motto is character, courage, and loyalty. Clearly, this vision has had an enormous impact not just in the US, but all around the world, as today it is being played in over 80 countries and all 50 states of the US. The Little League has always stood for fair play, sportsmanship, and teamwork. So it's little wonder that it is so popular even today. This week is also commemorated as National Men's Health Week in US from June 10th to 16th. The week leading up to Father's Day, because what's better way to celebrate dad than to encourage him to take care of his health? So the week is all about healthy bodies, hard exercise, good diet, and regular visits to doctor. It's part of National Men's Health Month, a month-long recognition of men's health with activities and events to remind men to take care of their bodies. So whether you are a man or just love them, take some time this week to celebrate the male form and keeping it in the top shape. One of the best ways to celebrate Men's Health Week is to make an appointment you have been putting off. Have a mole you need to look at, or an elbow injury that keeps flaring up. Feel like your digestion has been off, or maybe it's just time for you to schedule a test. Use Men's Health Week as an excuse to make a call and get that appointment on the calendar. Use Men's Health Week to get yourself moving. Go to gym, practice yoga, or practice meditation, take a long walk, brisk walk, go for jogging, running, swimming, some laps, or take a bike ride. Your body with thank you, and just maybe it will be the start of weekly ritual. So the blue ribbon is a symbol for men's health, and wearing one this week will show your commitment to the cause. It also does double duty as a conversation starter, helping you spread the good news about the Mental Health Week to anyone curious enough to ask. We all have fathers, brothers, sons, grandfathers, grandsons, and friends that are men. So some of us are even men ourselves. So we want the men in our life to be healthy, happy, and with us for a long time. And encouraging them to take care of themselves is a big part of that. Men's Health Week helps us to talk to men in our life about their health. Health is hard, especially in US. Many men are encouraged to be macho and invincible. And oftentimes that means they ignore symptoms and put off doctor appointments because they are fine. Men's Health Week is all about peer pressure in the other direction. It can be hard to find time to do things we love to do. But Men's Health Week is a good reminder that health is also about happiness. Take a hike, go on a walk, play around a golf, read a book, take a nap, and do what relaxes you. It's healthy. Today is also commemorated as National Pet Wedding Week in US from June 10 to 16. After all, who doesn't love a June wedding? That's right, there will be more premarital breeding. It's time for him to put on a ring on it. The week promotes love between two pets by sanctifying their union So the lovebirds literally in some cases can spend the rest of their lives breeding and growing old together. Have you ever dreamt of walking your good girl down to the hazel? No? Are you sure? Think again. It could turn out to be the most important day in any pet's parent's life. It is difficult to ascertain just how long people have been getting their pets married, but we are going to assume that it has a long history. People have been keeping pets for centuries, and it wouldn't be surprising to learn that they also enjoy getting them married. Additionally, the week is also recognized by the National Pet Association of Ceremonies, which is the only governing and certifying body of pet ceremony officiants in the US that recognizes pet ceremonies performed by NPAC certified officiants. After all, pet family members deserve to be happily bred, partnered, and wed to a suitable partner who will love and support them through the times, just like us humans. It's no secret that all animals, right from the dogs to cats to horses to birds, reproduce differently in their mating seasons and should be appropriately partnered. Like humans, pets also need love, companionship, and nurturing of some kind from their species. Generally, this is a breeding season for almost all the pets. Animal breeding, however, somewhat recent invention. In early days, dogs would bark and serve as an alarm when wild animals or strangers approached the human settlements, thus protecting our ancestors. Although early people knew nothing of genetics or heritable traits, they probably kept the puppies with the loudest and most insistent barks so that they could better alert them to predators. But it wasn't until 1800s that people started to keep records of canine bloodlines and classify dogs into specific breeds rather than generic ones like a hunting dog, hound, herding dog, or lapdog. Breeders range from noblemen creating a better retriever to shepherds attempting to refine herding ability for their particular lifestyle. Research has shown that dogs can anticipate future events based on their experiences, and dogs can tell the time. Americans adopt around 3.2 million animals from shelters. Cats became a loving domesticated companions for humans without ever changing much. Beavers, grey wolves, gibbons, m- macaroni penguins, sandhill cranes, and bald eagles all made for a life. Mass pet wedding ceremonies have been held in the past in Lima, Peru, a few days after Valentine's Day. It's fun, animals are cute. Your pet doesn't have to live in sin. It doesn't matter whether you're a dog person or a cat person or a hamster person or even Jico person. They are all adorable. We love them to be pieces. This week is also commemorated as Right of Way Professionals Week from June 10 to 16 in US. You might be wondering what a right of way professional does. Well, ever wonder how infrastructure and development projects are constructed in private spaces? That's right, these guys come in right of way professionals, negotiate and work with landowners to secure rights for the privately held property on behalf of third parties. All kinds of work can be done on the land, including building a highway, pipeline, and other facilities. A right-of-way professional refers to the professional working as land professional with legal expertise in property rights. These individuals are engaged by third parties, both private and government, to assist with land acquisition and the legal aspects of a variety of projects. The agent acts as the liaison between various groups within a project. These are essentially professionals who work to develop and construct infrastructure projects, such as acquisition agents, project managers, attorney, engineers, surveyors, appraisers, and relocation agents. The work is vital to building and maintaining public and private infrastructure systems, which allow societies to operate. For example, these can include roads, railways, tunnels, bridges, mass transit systems, power stations, wind farms, hydroelectric dams, electric transmission lines and distribution, telephone and fiber optic cabling, and cell phone towers and airports, among others. Located in Buffalo, New York, the Right of Way Professionals LLC ROWP was formed in 1999 and has spent in the past 20 years developing respected relationships within the New York State Right of Way community. But it is the International Right of Way Association, IRWA, that is considered to be the central authority for the right of way education and certification programs, as well as professional services around the globe. Its headquarters are in Gardena in the South Bay areas of Los Angeles, California. It is a global member-led organization of determined professionals in the right-of-way industry, established in 1934 as a non-for-profit association. IRWA's purpose has always been to improve the quality of life of the people through infrastructure development. This week is also commemorated as Team Green Britain Bike Week in the UK, which is celebrated every year in Britain during the second week of June. And this year it is held from June 10th to June 16th. Biking is an excellent way to stay fit and healthy. And did you know that bodies of people who cycle regularly remain 10 years younger in terms of fitness? There are many benefits of cycling, but the experience itself is an enjoyable activity. The thrill of cycling is hard to equal when joined by more people, increases the fun. This week offers something for everyone from families, schools, companies, and even those who have never cycled before. This week is also commemorated as Visual Rehabilitation Week in US. Almost 20 million people in the US live with blindness, low vision, and visual impairment, which often creates a significant challenges with everyday activities. Vision rehabilitation services and training can dramatically increase confidence, safety, and independence. Join us in the commemorating Vision Rehabilitation Week from June 10 to 16 to help spread the word about these crucial programs. People experiencing blindness and low vision report increased health issues and disability conditions, with some groups citing more than double the number of days of poor mental health and more than double the rate of depression. Vision rehabilitation can help adults continue to activities they love most, positively impact their ability to access medical and mental health services, and reduce isolation and depression. Vision Rehabilitation Week celebrates all the life-changing vision rehabilitation services for people with living with blindness and low vision, and compassionate and highly trained individuals who provide these services. Vision rehabilitation training can start during the early stages of vision loss. After all, vision correction, including glasses, contacts, and other medical interventions such as surgery, have been exhausted. Even when a doctor tells patients that nothing else can be done medically, vision rehabilitation offers vital hope and can significantly improve independence and quality of life at any age. So vision rehabilitation can help those with vision loss from genetic factors and common and rare eye diseases, including cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and refraction errors and other eye changes. Although a broad range of vision rehabilitation programs are available, tragically, less than 5% of them who could benefit from these services are receiving. Today is also commemorated as Abolition Day in Guyana. This day commemorates abolition of slavery in the country. However, the observation is not only limited to Guyana and other nations in the Caribbean that were once colonized by Europeans. The Europeans were notorious for enslaving the natives and subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. On Abolition Day, citizens also try to comfort their past. The day may also be celebrated by those who were subjected to serfdom or other forms of involuntary servitude. Abolition Day is a reminder of humanity's cruel history that continues today. Today is also commemorated as Dragon Boat Festival. The Dragon Boat Festival falls on the fifth day of the fifth month of Chinese lunar calendar, and this year it will be held on June 10th, popular in South China. The Dragon Boat Festival is an international event drawing a score of locals and tourists alike. To the outsider, the festival appears to be about racing dragon-shaped boats or about zonzi, the sweet savory dumpling traditionally associated with the day. Not many people knew that the Dragon Boat Festival is in fact a homage to the beloved poet who lived over 2000 years ago. The festival originated as a search for his body. History and lore offer several competing theories on the origins of the Dragon Boat Festival. The stories involve a mix of everything: dragons, loyalty, spirits, and of course, food. All of these legends, one remains the most popular and widely accepted as the true origin story, the story of you are. Today is also commemorated as Eat Flexitarian Day in US. Flexitarian, a style of eating that encourages eating mostly plant-based foods, allowing meat and other animal products in moderation. It is a day for people everywhere to try incredibly delicious world of plant-based food. By adopting a flexitarian lifestyle, you can enjoy the best of both worlds while continuing to eat foods you love and discovering new savory and satisfying alternatives that leave you feeling like your best balanced self. For many people, a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle can be difficult to adopt because it's assumed that it that limits many delicious foods and lacks, vitamins and nutrients. But this is a greatest myth. Eating flexitarian is a great alternative to slowly move on to vegetarian and an opportunity for the people to incorporate more plant-based foods that satisfies those cravings with an option. Plantera Foods and its plant-based food brand Ozo are on the mission to celebrate the world of flexitarians with delicious, satisfying, and innovative plant-based foods that make it simple and enjoyable for all food lovers to eat flexitarian. That's why in 2022, Plantera Foods and Ozo have led the nationwide charge in establishing the second Monday of June as Eat Flexitarian Day because eating flexitarian should be fun, and the Ozo wants to spread the word about mouth-watering plant-based experiences available to spice up the kitchen for food lovers from all walks of life. Today is also commemorated as EHS Day in United States, which is an attempt to raise awareness about electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome. There has been very little research about into the syndrome symptoms and effects, so it is not classified as a medically diagnosable conditions. We'll resume in a minute. But many international doctors and scientists recognize the debilitating effects that this illness can have on some people. The syndrome is born out of increased sensitivity to electrical environment, which can include mobile devices, Wi-Fi, and other electronics. This sensitivity can only get worse as we incorporate more and more electronic devices into our lives. EHS was founded by the company Defender Shield in 2020 to raise more awareness about this little known illness that is likely to develop rising as we increase our dependence on electronic devices. Because of the low awareness, the condition can often go undiagnosed. People are left wondering for years what the cause of their symptoms could be, as few have even heard of EHS. Some studies have even shown that 1 in 5 people may have EHS, and it is fast becoming clear that the technology has many unwanted ill effects on people's lives. While its negative effects on mental health are very well recorded, the physical aspect has been researched much. The social isolation many of us experience as a result of our dependence on these dividers are also associated with depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders. It also adversely affects the ADHD and learning disabilities. People afflicted with EHS can display a variety of non-specific symptoms which they attribute to electromagnetic field sources. Several studies have shown biological effects at the cellular level of EMF at magnetic and radio frequencies in a very low intensities. Many of these mechanisms described for multiple chemical sensitivity (MS) may also apply here with modifications to EHS, and so repeated exposure could result in sensitization and consequent enhancement of response. A number of hypersensitive patients appear to have impaired detoxification systems that have become overloaded by extreme oxidative stress. However, it must be remembered that this research is not yet conclusive. There are many other studies that indicate that EHS individuals cannot detect EMF exposure any more accurately that individuals without EHS, well controlled and conducted double blind studies, have shown that EHS symptoms were not correlated with exposure to EMF. Luigi Galvani, a professor at the University of Bologna, shows the presence of electricity in frogs through these experiments in 1790. Electronics history begins with the invention of the vacuum diode by J.A. Fleming in 1897. The junction transistor is invented and goes on to win the Nobel Prize in 1948. Apple launches its famous iPhone and changes the game forever in 2007. So the most common symptoms include redness, tingling, burning sensations on the skin. Some other symptoms are fatigue, tiredness, and concentration difficulties, dizziness, nausea, heart palpitation, and digestive disturbances. EHS is mainly a self-reported condition and hasn't been proven by science. It is defined by unpleasant symptoms like headache, pain, fatigue, etc., triggered by exposure to electronic devices. Recent research, however, has found no solid evidence that EHS exists. How do we block EMF in our life? Turn off your Wi-Fi router at night. Some routers even have a built-in settings that can be programmed to shut down the Wi-Fi, to shut down the desired time and turn it on again at a pre-programmed time. Avoid unnecessary using Bluetooth devices like wireless keyboards, mouse, microphones, and speakers. Try wired versions instead. Considering deleting certain apps from your phone if you find yourself wasting too much time on them. Also monitor your phone usage and try to cut down on all time if you find it to be high. Lower your dependence on electronics. Remember to look after yourself side by side while you are on no electronic gadget. detox. All of our actions are interconnected, and eating better, drinking more water, and sleeping well can aid with your EHS recovery. Take care of your health. Go outside, go touch some grass. Literally being out in the open, surrounded by nature, is great for your physical and mental health. Long before electricity became a necessity, ancient Egyptians were aware that the lightning and shocks from electric fish were incredibly powerful, like eels. The bulb is 14 feet tall and weighs 8 tons and sits atop on the Thomas Edison Memorial Tower is the world's biggest bulb in New Jersey. Electricity can be generated using water, wind, and sun, and even the animal waste. Electricity is everywhere. Our bodies have electricity. Our nerve cells use electricity to pass signals to our muscles. Electricity is sometimes used as electroconvulsive therapy. In ECT, patients are given electrically induced seizures to treat psychiatric disorders. It has adverse effects on our bodies. While EHS is not a medically accepted illness, there's no denying that electronic devices have a range of negative health effects. Using them too much can lead and exacerbate depression, anxiety, and obesity, among other things. Given how ubiquitous phones, laptops, tablets, and other electronic devices are in today's tech-obsessed world, it is crucial that we understand its effects better. There must be more research and studies done in this field. Electronics are everywhere. There's simply no getting away from electronic devices. Even if you want to, our school, college, and work lives all revolve around the computer, while our social life centers around the phone. Today is also commemorated as National Ballpoint Pen Day in US. This day encourages us to honor the humble product that is found everywhere in our homes, schools, art studios, offices, etc. Almost everyone has used a ballpoint pen once in their life, and for many, it holds a special place in their pen holder. It acknowledges this universal writing utensil, and it also marks the day when the patent for it was filed. Before the ballpoint pen came into the world, people used a fountain pen or pencil to write. Created to provide an alternative to the quill and fountain pens, now the ballpoint pen dominates the pen market. Many people attempted to invent the ballpoint pen but weren't successful due to issues in ink distribution, overflow, and cloth. Then finally, the brothers Laszlo and Georgi Biro obtained their patents for the ballpoint pen and revolutionized the way people wrote letters. Now, European patent #2390636 protects one of the world's most popular modern writing instruments. The Biro brothers knew they were onto something when they invented the ballpoint pen. Later, the British government bought the rights to the newly patented pens, and today global manufacturers produce millions of these ballpoint pens and sell them across the world. Ballpoint pens are used everywhere and are an affordable and reliable instrument for writing. The United States imports approximately 3.4 billion ballpoint pens each year. A survey conducted by the Promotional Products Association International found that 83% of the people use ballpoint pens on a daily basis. Carandiachi Gothica, Mont Blanc Mystery Masterpiece, and Carandiachi 1010 Diamond Edition are among the most expensive pens in the world. On an average, a ballpoint pen can write about 50,000 words. Every second, around 125 ballpoint pens are sold. Ballpoint pens hardly burn a hole in your pocket. They cost as little as 20 cents. They are affordable and can be purchased by anyone. Today, even in India, you can find a pen worth 1 rupee, 2 rupees as well. That is use and throw. But we have to remember one thing, they are also causing a lot of environmental issue, because by using and throwing away, you are creating a huge plastic waste. So instead, the sustainable way is move on to fountain pens where you can refill ink as many times as possible. This will avoid a wastage of, these refills every time whenever you use. Instead of throwing away, if you use the reusable ink pens, that would be a great contribution. Of course, a little bit extra care and consciousness, you can enjoy much better than ballpoint pens. Today is also National Bedbug Prevention Day in US. What's worse is that even though they can cause so much grief, we can't see them. No wonder these pests are among the most common problems experienced by people across the world. And the worst part is that they are almost impossible to get rid of on your own. No matter how hard you try, they just keep coming back. So National Bedbug Prevention Day was founded by Dodson Pest Control in 2019 to recognize their long history of providing treatment for bedbug infestations. Unfortunately, we all had our fair share of traumatic bedbug experiences. Reports of bedbug infestations have gone through the roof in recent years. As travel becomes easier, bedbugs have become a greater problem than ever before. Bedbugs have been plaguing humanity for generations and were even mentioned by Aristotle in ancient Greece. Pliny's Natural History, published in 77 AD, in Rome, claimed that bedbugs had medicinal value in treating snake bites and ear infections. This belief in medicinal use of bedbugs persisted until at least the 1700s, when the Guttard recommended using them to treat hysteria. Bedbugs were mentioned in England in 1583, although they remained rare in England until 1670. In 1700s, people started believing that bedbugs had been brought to London with supplies of wood used to rebuild the city after the Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed huge swathes of the city. Bedbugs were very common before the mid-1900s. According to a report in 1933, in the UK, all houses in many areas had bedbugs to some degree. This rise in bedbug populations has been attributed to the use of electric heating, which allowed bedbugs to thrive year-round instead of only in warm weather. These pests were also a serious problem at US military bases during World War II. The problem was solved by fumigation through a dangerous procedure using Zyklon disoid. DDT was used later, but bedbugs have since become mostly resistant to it. And there are a lot of side effects with the use of DDT, and it has been banned in most of the countries due to health hazards. The fall in bedbug populations in the 20th century has often been credited to the creation of potent pesticides. Bedbugs don't have teeth, but thin, sharp structures called stylets inside their mouths. They use these to pierce the skin and suck the blood out of humans and other warm-blooded animals. Under normal circumstances, adult bedbugs can live up to 2 to 4 months. Young ones can survive without a meal for days up to few months. The older ones can survive longer without a meal and even up to a year. under very favorable conditions. Bedbugs will never go away on their own, and it's best to call a professional to exterminate them. So pest control, that's who bedbugs can be tricky to get rid of and the best left to the handle by professionals. But you could also opt for natural remedies if you can't afford to hire an exterminator. Always natural remedies help in sustainable practice and also less harm to environment and also to humans. Use your knowledge for good and read information about what causes bedbugs and how they can be prevented. Some people might not even know they have bedbugs. Be vigilant. Check your hotel furniture and bed for any signs of these pests. Inspect your luggage when you return from trip and wash all your clothes and linens after returning home. Regularly inspecting your furniture and bed is crucial. Also consider getting a metal bed frame as bedbugs prefer warm wooden furniture. Adult bugs can be up to a quarter-inch long, and you may even notice microscopic black specks, which is their fecal matter. And they are not invisible, but they are just hard to spot. They just don't live in the beds. They also hide in dark, warm places like wall voids, cracks, and crevices. Although they are most active at night, they can come out in the daytime. So switching your sleep schedule won't help. So they can live for a year without blood and reproduce very fast, making them extremely hard to kill. They can survive a year without eating. The average cost of bedbug removal is about $1,000 and $2,500, making it a very costly affair, and they can be very expensive to kill. Bedbugs can cause serious problems. While their bites alone can be extremely annoying, they can also ruin your sleep and pose other problems. They can cause serious mental issues like PTSD and delusional parasitosis, and even make people scared of going to bed. They are found in almost every part of the world, although their presence has been seen an issue in the developing countries. As more wood is used there, it has been recently been spreading rapidly in parts of US, Canada, UK, and other parts of Europe. So learning more about what causes bedbugs can help us tackle them more efficiently. Reduce the clutter in your house, vacuum more frequently, wash your linens after a trip, and inspect your luggage after returning home to prevent it. Today is also commemorated as National Herbs and Spices Day in US and celebrates the world of diversity when it comes to these often teensy flavor agents which nevertheless pack a punch. After all, what would food even be of if it weren't of for the herbs and spices that make every dish unique? Since herbs and spices are cooking essentials, it therefore makes complete sense they are given a day of recognition for their contribution to mankind and its culinary journeys thus far. Furthermore, the great thing about many herbs is that they can be freshly grown in our own garden, patch, or on our kitchen sill. And what can be better than eating your own homegrown produce? There are just so many ways in which herbs and spices make all lives better. So join us. We'll list some of them. Though very little is known about this day came into being, National Herbs and Spices Days has been officially observed from the year 2015 onwards. Not only are herbs and spices at most importance in the kitchen, many of them have strong medicinal values, which is why such a day may have come into long being. Before the words national and spices were added in 2015, the oldest reference to this day was Herb Day in 1990. The most popular herbs and spices, they can the list can vary across regions and cultures. However, the top herbs and spices to have at all times in your kitchen is black peppercorns, cinnamon, ground or sticks, chili powder, chili flakes, cumin, ginger, grounded or fresh, nutmeg, smoked paprika or sweet, oregano, dried or fresh, bay leaves, and so on. The four crucial ingredients to any meal are salt, pepper, sugar, or mild sweeteners, and acids like vinegar. Start your own garden, explore a new cuisine with spices. Time for protection. Ancient Romans believed that wearing or bathing in thyme would protect them from being poisoned. Lavender instead of body odor. In Renaissance Europe, people believed that lavender would suffice to keep them smelling nice instead of bathing. Rosemary predicts your future, a symbol of marriage and fertility. If a girl put rosemary under her pillow, she would dream of her future husband. This is a belief. Just find out if it works or not still for you. During the Black Death, people believed that the nutmeg would grant them immunity to the plague, and nutmeg scares away the Black Death. Due to its numbing properties, tarragon is used instead of Tylenol. People believed that chewing tarragon could cure toothaches. So it is a perfect excuse to get cooking, a herb or spice for every ailment, not limited to cooking. Herbs and spices have many medicinal qualities that can help treat minor ailments. The best part is that these are all natural remedies and contribute largely to the homeopathic industry now. Whoever said variety in the spice of life was spot on. The sheer variety of herbs and spices around the world makes us want to celebrate every cuisine and culture, as spices and herbs are common denominator in food anyway. Today is also commemorated as National Iced Tea in US. So tea has been around forever, but iced tea didn't burst onto the scene and win over American hearts until 1904. In that year, visitors to St. Louis World's Fair were greeted by exceedingly hot weather. So tea plantation owner and merchant Richard Fletcher, who was present at the fair, took advantage of the situation by selling chilled tea drinks instead of hot tea as a cold refreshment. And the rest is history. On June 10th, we fill our glasses with iced tea, sweetened or unsweetened. That's your call, and celebrate National Iced Tea. And you know, cold tea or coffee is more costlier than hot coffee or hot tea. Today is also commemorated as Portugal Day in Portugal, which is an official national holiday of Portugal and is observed on June 10th each year. In Portugal, this day is usually called the Dia de Portugal de Comércio das Comunidades Portuguesas, which translates to Day of Portugal, cameos, and the Portuguese communities. The day is intended to remember the death of Luis de Camões, who is recognized as the community's greatest national icon. He is most known for his poem, which narrates the story of Portuguese explorations in the 15th century and has since been accepted as a national poem in the Portugal. However, because his birth date is uncertain, his death date, June 10th, 1580, is commemorated as Portugal's national day. Today is also commemorated as Slavery Abolition Day in French Guiana, which marks the Slavery Abolition Day on June 10th every year. And it is a public holiday and is also recognized as Emancipation Day in some nations in the Caribbean islands. This day raises awareness of the atrocities of the slave trade era and serves as a reminder of the brutally suffered enslaved Africans and its consequences. This holiday was first observed in 2012, even though the historical event dates back to abolition of slavery in the colony in 1848. It is a time of sober reflection and a celebration of the prevalence of truth and freedom for all men. So with this, we shall conclude today's sessions, and we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of polls. See you all tomorrow at the same time, the same joining link at 6 p.m. for different commemorations. And we have also sent an email to all those who have registered for the last conference, that is 9 days conference. We have sent an email to all the registered participants and presenters. Kindly check the email and fill up the registration form if you haven't filled up. If you have already registered and attended, quickly fill up the feedback form so that you can be eligible for these certificates. And there, as informed, even the quiz link has been shared in the email and also on the website. So we request everyone to quickly complete the quiz at the earliest so that they can receive both the quiz certificates and participation certificates. Generally, quiz certificates are given early. So we request everyone to quickly complete the quiz and also share with your friends. All the questions are based on the conference proceedings. So those who have attended conference can easily answer all the questions. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.